spark of inspiration is at the heart of all creation.
Spark a dream that we're meant to follow.
You're listening to the Extra Magic Hour, brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the Diz Insider. Join the team in the studio as they bring you the spirit of Disney through park news, history, and tips and tricks to make your Disney Parks vacation even more magical. Welcome to another episode of the Extra Magic Hour, your park-centric show here at Walt's Apartment Productions. I'm one of your hosts, Sam, and today we're going to be talking about changes to DVC guidelines, breaking news out of Disneyland, Frontierland expansion announcements, and the Halloween season's approaching for all of our favorite theme park destinations. Before we get started, we want to thank our sponsors, Sunken City Design, Getaway Today, and We're in the Park. And a big shout out to our lamplighters, our Patreons, who are keeping the conversation going over on our absolutely free Discord. So if you haven't joined yet, you absolutely should. It's free. It's a lot of fun. So click the link in our show notes and check it out. Before we dive into our topics for tonight, because there's tons of things to cover, let's first say hi to the rest of our team that's joining us today. We have special guests joining us here on Extra Magic Hour tonight. Well, two of them, actually. We've got the Mad Hater, Lou, L Money, L Dog. What's up?
Nothing much. Stoked to be back on EMH. I'm going to try to keep it tamed and educational, but I'm excited to be here.
Were you glad that we had some SeaWorld news for you tonight?
Oh, dude, absolutely. And I get to host it? Like, let's go. Oh, whale talking about whales? Let's go.
That may have been intentional. Not the whale part, but
there's your title right there.
The SeaWorld, a whale hosting about whales. Okay. And we have friend of the show, Kelsey, joining us again. Kelsey, how are you tonight, love?
I'm good, thanks. Happy to be here.
We had some DVC news, and we knew we wanted to talk to you about DVC last time, so perfect time to bring you back and get a little bit of introduction. And last but not least, we have Joey of all things DU, Tiki Cast, coolest dude ever. What do we got, Joey? How are we doing tonight?
Doing great. Glad to be here talking about parks, so many parks and other stuff. And I look around the screen, and this is pretty much the Leo show. So I don't know what Kelsey's birthday is, but, welcome to the Lion's Den.
Kelsey is not a Leo, but she knows how to hang with the best of them. She's not afraid of us. So it's going to be great. Joey, we talked about the Sav Bananas game that you guys went to. And I know you said there were some things you wanted to mention that we left out of last week's recording. Do you want to bring those up now before we jump into this week's news?
Yeah, so we've been geeking up about the bananas over the last couple of weeks, rightfully so. They took over Disneyland just after we were there. We actually did not go to that game, unfortunately, but they were at the parks the Friday after we were there. And so we shared a lot of that last week. But then they also played the games over the weekend past when we recorded. So they were still very Disney heavy. And I just got to shout out the baseball fans in Anaheim. In 2 games, they had over 90,000 fans, and they did not leave until the final pitch. So, but the cool thing is Jesse, he's the yellow tuxedo guy. He owns the team and the league. And this dude has Walt in his heart. So before we kind of go to some of that, I just want to go to some of the Disney that was going on. Like they brought out like old angels, Troy Glaus and John Lackey. They even brought out the great Hambino from the Sandlot, came out and pitched hit. But they also had a lot of Disney going on. So let me prepare some of this real quick, because there's 3 videos I want to share. They're short, but they're still really fun. So yeah,
that's what we're here for.
funny thing is, the second baseman was Mike while he was doing this, so he was talking about Minnie. And, he's like nervous because she's an icon. Then also, I have another video, but that I'm queuing up. But they also did where they always do stuff and they bring fans out and do like kids are running in bed sheets and stuff. It's real funny. But they had 4 guys running from center field, and it basically imagine me, Lou, Sean, and David running from center field, playing red light, green light. Except instead of red light, green light, it was Andy's here. So they dropped. Andy's gone, so they get up and run back up the plate. So there's no video of that. But they had another iconic moment from a very iconic Disney sports movie about the Angels. You guys know where I'm queuing this up here, so I'm going to show that right now.
Coming to pitch, former Major League All-Star, 3-time World Series champion, and the first with your Anaheim Angels. Please welcome John Lackey! Special moment here for John Lackey at 46.
So the night before they had Troy Glaus, who was the Angels
Check on
MVP.
Lackey, you all right? You all right?
Man, it's been a long time. I don't know if I can do it.
You got this, big dog. You got 1 out left in. Kid sees an angel. He's here to help.
The kid sees an angel?
Yeah. And so do I.
So that's one of the bananas pitchers on the rock formation at the center field. And he was actually doing the flaws in other moments, but we had 45,000 people doing the angel wings from the movie.
That's awesome.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And sorry about the mic.
I probably would have been crying.
But they interviewed. Oh, go ahead.
So your first video, I don't know if anyone else caught that. Are you able to pull that first video up?
Yeah. Hang on a sec. Sorry for our audio listeners.
So that to be like the Steve-O brim of fantasy match. But what's going on with the trees back there?
That's the banana mascot.
He's rolling down the hill.
I just thought I was like walking along.
I did not notice that. So I got one more video, and I got to cue the because it's on Jesse, the owner, his page. But I recorded on my phone because he actually did an interview after the final game, and hang on a sec. But this is just pretty much a short version of what he said. Plus, it shows a little bit of Disneyland too. So. But like I said, this guy's got Walt in his heart, and he even said, like, he brought out, like, Walt always said it's kind of fun to do the impossible, which is the quote on my arm, the tattoo that I have. So anytime I hear that quote, it just always gets to me. So, but this is what he said after the game.
Has so many elements of Disney. When you look at all the touch points and the joy and the fun and the dancing and the celebrating and thinking about all the different stages, just like Walt thought about all his different lands, we think about all the stages from the parking lot to the plaza to the upper deck to the dugouts to all over on how do we make someone feel something? How do we create an experience on each one of those stages that's special? That's all Walt.
And I asked that because you guys took a trip to Disneyland here in Anaheim. What was that experience like?
Yeah. When I walked underneath the castle and out over the bridge and in front of thousands of people, and they're all there for us. And then I look and see Walt's statue holding the hand of Mickey. And I see that and I'm like, this is special. And so for me, that was an emotional moment to know that we have worked so hard to create something that means something to people, that they will come all over the country just a chance to see us in a parade or in front of the castle. For me, it was a moment I'll never forget. This has...
So Yeah, like I said, I've been a fan of them just because they're goofy and stuff, and it's baseball. But over this past weekend, I've just become an even bigger fan of Jesse himself as the owner. And there's another video of him like signing autographs, and security is trying to push him out. And he's like, "No, I'm not leaving until I sign everybody's autograph." And he's like, "I'll veto it." So, but I know we've been geeking up over the bananas the last couple of weeks, so I figured that'd be a good way to end it. That, like I said, just the quotes he mentioned about Walt and the magic of Disney was super awesome. So.
Definitely.
Hopefully good next year. If they do.
those were great tributes to share. Speaking of going next year, Kelsey, you get to use those DVC points not next year, but the following year, right?
Yeah.
When are we going? When are we using your DVC points? She's got to share them with her brother.
Yeah. So DVC is not for the poor. Put it that way. We actually, my parents, my brother and I, we all split the cost 3 ways and then rotate years. But or you're like me and you invite yourself on your parents' trip and you get to go even more. So
I've done that. Not on DVC.
They were like, "Oh, we're going on an anniversary trip," and I was like, "Oh, well, someone's got to be there to sing happy anniversary. So hi, I'm coming." Yeah, so I believe September of 2026.
It's your turn.
It'll be my turn. So the points will like renew. So basically, DVC is a point system. So you pay for a certain number of points, and depending on what resort you choose to stay at, it requires a certain amount of points each night that you stay there. And so like Fridays are more points, weekends are more points. The newer the hotel, the more points it takes. The older the hotel, maybe not so many points. You can, my family is original to the Disney Vacation Club that originated out of Walt Disney World in Orlando. So there, our home base resort is Disney's Old Key West Resort. So the number of points that it takes to stay at Old Key West for one night or even for a week-long trip is much smaller than the number of points, let's say, to stay at, Disney's contemporary Bay Lake Tower, because it's a much newer resort. And so you're paying for not only the newness of it, but also, the Magic Kingdom view there. Bay Lake Tower rooms all have a view of the Magic Kingdom castle. So there's differences. There is about 20 resorts that are considered Disney Vacation Club resorts. And you can also use your points at non-DVC resorts. So if you wanted to stay at a moderate or a value resort, you can use your points there as well. You just have to keep in mind, all of the deluxe resorts are set up like condos, basically. So you have a full kitchen with full-size appliances, bedrooms separate from the living space, and usually 1 to 1.5 bathrooms. And so keeping in mind that you're using your points essentially at a value or a moderate for just a basic hotel room. However, your points do tend to go further if you're staying at a value or a moderate because they don't take as many points per night.
Can you save your points from year to year, or is it like you lose them if you don't use them?
No, you can roll points from one year to the next. You can also borrow from the next year.
Okay. So I'm assuming that if I wanted to go stay at Aulani or Hilton Head, those are probably going to be more than the points that I would probably have banked for a year.
Yes, ma'am. You can always buy more points as well. You can use your points around the globe too. So you can use them at Disney Tokyo, Disney Shanghai, Disneyland Paris.
Abu
Again,
Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
yeah, Abu Dhabi. When I'm looking at that, I can tell you that you can definitely see exchange rate differences when you're looking at points. So like the number of points takes you a little bit further depending on where in the world you choose to travel and use them points. Disney's Aulani, you're going to need extra points. Not that I've looked into going there or anything with our points.
October 26th.
That's when DU crew is going.
All right. I see you. So they have recently started to cut down on or become stricter with what you're able to do with your points in terms of like selling points or going through third-party vendors for points. So there are Disney specific vendors that you would use if, let's say, you're not going to be able to use your points for the year, but you don't want to roll them over. Let's say maybe you need some extra cash. So I could put a week of time at Old Key West up for someone to buy, essentially, or rent for a week, and book it on their behalf. And there are Disney approved vendors that are able to do that for you. You can also sell your membership once you have a membership. However, if you go through a third-party vendor when you're selling or buying a DVC membership, you lose some of the perks of that membership. And that is essentially when they're saying, oh, DVC guidelines have changed or Disney's really cracking down on DVC. That is what they're referring to. They're referring to people who are buying DVC memberships through third-party vendors and then expecting to have all the perks that you would have paid for or gotten when you went through Disney directly. So some of them being the extra magic hours that you get in the park, or let's say you bought points for you bought an Old Key West membership through a third-party vendor, then you can only stay at Old Key West when you're booking your vacations from there on out if you're using those DVC points. Where if you go through Disney, you have the ability of using your points at any Disney hotel that you choose to stay at. So that is a little bit of what they're cracking down on, so that the point system is not being manipulated, so to speak, and kind of trying to keep the perks for actual DVC members. I did notice when I was there this last time, every family or whoever's name is on the DVC account, they get, it looks like a credit card. It's not really a credit card. You don't charge anything to it, but you show it. And that is how you get, in-park discounts or discounts at restaurants, all of the DVC perks, but you have to show proof that you're actually a DVC member. You can't just claim to be one. So that's what this card is used for. And I noticed that they were asking to see the DVC card, where in the past they might say, oh, do you have any perks like annual pass holder DVC? And all you had to say was, oh yeah, I'm DVC, or oh yeah, I'm an annual pass holder. They didn't require proof. And I did notice when I was there in May, they wanted to see your license and your card.
So basically, if you're renting points from somebody else who is DVC, you do not get the extra DVC perks. And Disney, with their new, the guidelines really aren't new. Mm-mm. They are just enforcing the old guidelines, it appears.
Correct. Yes.
So the guidelines basically say that you should be using your points more than you're renting them out.
Correct.
And
it would be a red flag
Yeah.
if you were consistently year after year after year always selling your points and not using them. They would look in to see if you were using the Disney Vacation Club as a means of making profit.
Money. Yeah. So, I mean, it seems like something that's probably necessary because Disney wants to make their money, you know?
Absolutely.
And honestly, I'm okay with that because we talk about it all the time on all of our other shows too, that the price gouging is ridiculous.
It is.
We already pay an exorbitant amount of money to Disney. We shouldn't be paying it to a consumer that just like us. So they can have their kicks too.
It's not worth losing it too over. I mean,
right?
Right. No, absolutely. That's a great message because that didn't cross my mind, but 100%. Like, if it's use it or lose it, I'll use it. I'll use your points. Pick me.
Because I've heard there's a I know we got some other topics, but there's a similar thing kind of been going on with Club 33 over here, where there's people that now they've got Club 33 access, and it's going back to that whole personal shopper thing, which is kind of, non-members are getting so much more merchandise, and I mean a few things you could get a shirt here or ears here, but now they're just going crazy with so much of the Club 33 merchandise that people are threatened to lose their membership.
That's crazy.
Wow. That is crazy. That is something else, since you mentioned merchandise. There are, at the deluxe resorts or the resorts that are noted for being Disney Vacation Club resorts, specific merchandise that will have DVC embellishments on it or are tailored specifically to Disney's Vacation Club. That is where you're going to find those things.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing that update on DVC with us, Kelsey.
Absolutely.
We are actually it is confusing, but that actually helped me, like her explaining it to like their points and you get to use the points. It's like Disney dollars.
It is. Essentially, Disney started with Disney dollars. When you would go into a park, you would pay for Disney dollars and then you could use them any way you wanted. And essentially, instead of having Disney dollars, they have points now.
Yep. So we do have some breaking news out of Disneyland that we saw just before going live. Scott Gustin posted them on his Threads account. We got to see the first look of the Coco themed attraction, the first ever Coco themed attraction. The ride is going to be in Paradise Gardens in the areas that are currently backstage areas, and construction is starting this fall. Shovels in the ground, Lou?
Yep, finally.
Hooray.
What do you thoughts on this Coco themed attraction?
Cannot wait.
I know. We've all been waiting for a Coco attraction.
This was something I was... Oh, go ahead.
No, this is one that I think is probably one of the bigger highlights that have come in recent announcements.
Yeah. So we weren't really sure when it was going to happen. We had heard that they had put some sort of like facilities license, like they had applied for the space to set up like construction, I don't know, like construction annexes kind of, but seems like now they're really ready to get started. So
yeah, I'm excited because this was the ride that I was afraid was going to replace the Grand Fiesta Tour at Epcot, which makes sense for it to be there, but I love the Three Caballeros, so the fact that we're getting it here at Disneyland, and it's going to be a totally different ride, but I'm excited, and where it fits is perfect, where it's going to go. And I mean, so much of California, and especially Southern California, I mean, Coco's huge with the whole like Mexican culture and everything, so it fits perfectly in where they're putting it here. And
and what we can see from the first look is is beautiful. It's stunning. It looks like it says Casa. What does it say? Casa Museo de la Familia. Over the archway, the flags, everything looks beautiful. It looks like you're going to be walking into like a village market.
Anybody else
Very
just like
pretty.
humming the Coco theme song? Like,
Always, forever.
yes.
More breaking news. Lou. The upcoming Avatar-themed land will be built near the Hollywood backlot area at DCA to make way for the new experience of Avatar Land. They are going to be closing Monsters, Inc. Mike and Sully to the rescue in early 2026. So here's what we've got for Avatar Land. Lou, I know you have some thoughts. I'm going to say it doesn't look as good as what we have over here in on the East Coast to me.
I was just going to say, I don't feel like this mock-up or this picture does Pandora justice, at least the Pandora that is active currently in Animal Kingdom in Orlando. I mean, words don't do it justice.
I know I can see Lou's wheels turning in his head right now. I'm just going to say though, being a fan of the Avatar movies, this looks exactly like it
does
formation from Way of Water more than the Avatars, and that's what's
Way of Water sucked though. Sorry, Joey. I'm sorry.
I liked it, Joey.
Thank you.
I didn't. I mean, it was okay. It was really long. I'm pretty sure my child asked to leave.
That's just an attention span ADD thing. That's not because it wasn't a good movie.
It was a slow burn. It was a slow burn. Lou,
give it to us, big guy.
So
let him cook.
You're right. This photo doesn't do it justice. I mean, if you look at the forced perception in this thing, you have people up by the waterfall, and you can just tell now it kills the height view of this going on. They've addressed it's going near, like Scott Gustin's post, which I think is on the screen now, it shares it's going near the Hollywood backlot, and we are losing Monsters Inc. So the part that gets me about this whole thing is what is near the Hollywood backlot? Like, what does that mean? Because the only thing near the Hollywood backlot is the bus structure or at Avengers Campus. So, like, what's near the Hollywood backlot? So obviously we're losing Monsters Inc. and we're probably going to lose where PhilharMagic is and those stages back there. But my biggest fear about this is it's such a cramped area that I don't think the suspension of belief like you guys have in Florida, where the floating mountains look floating. If anyone's seen the Imagineering story, obviously they're not 100% floating, but they do a real good job where you see them and you're like, holy cow, that's floating. As where this, it doesn't give off that. Now, this is just an image. I will suspend belief there. I don't know how well they're going to utilize this. And is it going to be as open concept as it shows here? Or are we going to get a bunch of go away green behind this to hide the show building to a point? Because even though I have my negatives about Galaxy's Edge does a really good job at shadowing the show buildings. They do a Smuggler's Run. There's some specs where you're like, that didn't blend too well, but it still works. Cars Land, Radiator Springs here in DCA, killer job at forced perspective and rock work. This right now, this photo doesn't do that for me, and I'm very curious to see how much land gets gobbled up just to sell that feature versus things like food, restrooms, rides, things that the guests can actually partake in versus a bunch of eye candy. which I think Galaxy's Edge has a lot of. I could look through it, but realistically be done in 20 minutes if I just did the attractions and bounced.
So I do think if they're smart with it, that you can get a lot of those floating aesthetics and a lot more of like the Pandora landscape with it being a usable space. But
when you think about it, like, to be completely honest, Pandora in Walt Disney World, there's not a whole lot to do.
I mean, there's really the 2 rides, but there is a restaurant or 2. There's a store.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they say, I guess I'm looking at it, when you look at like Toy Story Land, that takes up just an obscene amount of space in Hollywood Studios. But there are, probably 5 rides, a couple of restaurants, bathrooms, and 2 or 3 stores in there versus, the amount of what is actually in
tons of
Pandora.
meet and greet spaces. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't need as much space.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you know what the difference is? Joe Rohde. Joe Rohde's not building this.
Unless he comes back. Yeah, that's true. But one thing that Disney has been doing really good with lately, Galaxy's Edge, Cars Land, Pandora in Florida, is forced perspective, and so I think that they're really going to use it here. But I think a lot of people speculated on this, and some people that we share on the show actually posted it too. But yeah, Stage 17's gone. Monsters Inc., that area where Flynn's Arcade was, and Mad Tea Party Arcade, that's all going to be gone. And back where I think the Toy Story bus drop off, that's going to be gone too. That's going to be some of the show building, which again, once all this stuff a lot of this will depend on when they actually start, which they haven't officially announced yet, but the Eastern Gate project will be a huge key to what they do with this.
We can look at the rest of the announcements next, because there's more. There's more. These all just dropped about an hour before we recorded, so
that's why we recorded on Thursdays.
Yes, the parking structure is part of the Disneyland Forward plans, and they did put up the map of the area for the plan structure. Lou and Joey, I'm going to let you guys talk about it because I'm not familiar with that area. So what do you guys want to say about the parking structure? It's 6,000 cars.
So it's supposed to be the parking structure and a brand new transit like circle, because between Disneyland, Disney California Adventure, the DCA side is where the Toy Story lot drop off is, and then the closer to, and this is just a mock up on the map, but the other side is where all the hotel shuttles go. So they're going to do the new parking structure plus transit, and they're also supposed to do kind of like Vegas. You got the walkway that goes above. It will supposedly go above Harbor, which will eliminate all that intersection.
So the ones that go over the strip in Vegas?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
But
so yeah, it says a 6,000 space parking structure featuring a pedestrian bridge over Harbor Boulevard and a new Esplanade experience are coming to Disneyland Resort. Construction will begin in fall of 2026. So, here's the map. If you are not watching on YouTube, you can come watch on YouTube because we're showing lots of visuals on our screen.
So there's this particular Disneyland Forward proposal piece has some questions of very concern. So obviously, if you watched anything about Disneyland Forward, a year ago now, Magic Way was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Magic Way on this map just shows crossed out. It's not faded out to kind of show more expansion for park. It's just cautioned. So obviously that's probably going to be behind the scenes. Still very much a road, just on a public road. But the verbiage on existing parking is what's really got my eye perked. Because why not? Like, obviously it's existing parking, but why not just say parking? Why are they using the word, this is what's existing now, and then they use the word proposed in the opposite side? Proposed makes sense. Calling this existing parking, are they planning on doing something with that? Why is it prominent at all and not just a color like the Esplanade in between Disneyland and DCA? Like, they've obviously put something there to really pay attention. I mean, even where the proposed Disneyland Forward rides and all that are going is even less detailed than parking. So that's got my wheels turning on what it's going to look like. But then the second thing is that bridge going over. The concept art on that one, it shows this bridge is towering the monorail. Like, that's a very, very high walkover. So, like, I know this is Extra Magic Hour. I know this isn't what used to be, but we have seen people fall from the parking structure. And my concern with this is, are we being too ambitious in this project? Is it going to be less or more? This seems like a very ambitious project. Not only that, that bridge shows all behind the scenes of the Tomorrowland area, as you see where Space Mountain is in this concept art. Disney not being one to expose story, this exposes a lot. So I'm very curious how true concept art is to reality. I know it's concept art. Those that are in the comments are not going to blow me up. But this has been an Achilles heel for Disney, is showing too much and giving too little. That bridge has got me very concerned on if it's anywhere near that, because it's towering over the monorail.
Which, I mean, yeah,
Those
it's
are very
high,
good
but
points.
I think you can do a pedestrian lane, and this is a good way to bring back the people mover from the parking structure to the
Yes.
Which if you I don't know when
Listen
this
to
comes out,
Mondays.
but
Imagine that. Mondays.
Yeah,
Imagine that.
that might be tapping into that. Overall, though, the concept art does look beautiful. Like that old school Disneyland sign, the way it looks more welcoming. I mean, it does overall. I'm excited for it. And I would assume this new parking structure proposal would still keep the buses dropping off there versus across the street anymore.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to make your way to Disneyland to see these things in the next coming years, or to see the shovels in the ground, as Lou likes to say, you can check out our sponsors from Getaway Today. So let's hear from them now.
It's been a great show so far, but who's ready for an ad break? Did you know that the best way to keep our shows going is by supporting our sponsors? So let's get to know more about the travel experts at Getaway Today. They've been helping to make vacation dreams come true since 1990. And whether you want to visit the happiest place on earth or to travel to Orlando for a most epic adventure, they are there to help. Are you trying to find out which hotel is your best option or which theme park tickets will work best for your visit? Are you concerned that you might need a last-minute change? No worries. Their travel experts will help you out. Looking to book a cruise but don't know where to start? Hey, they can help with that too. They will find the perfect cruise for your vacation, whether it's your first time or you're a well-seasoned cruiser. When you book your cruise with one of the Getaway Today experts, you will have a dedicated agent to help you every step of the way. They take care of the details so you can have the most fun. Getaway Today offers peace of mind travel, allowing you to cancel or make changes up to 72 hours before your trip. You will always have the most up-to-date vacation information, both pre-arrival and upon welcome. Getaway Today guarantees the best prices, with no hidden fees, and every time you book through Getaway Today, they will donate a portion back to a charitable organization in your area. And so far, over $4.5 million have been donated. So go ahead and dial 1-855-GETAWAY, that's 1-855-438-2929, and be sure to tell them that Walt's Apartment sent you. Or just click the link in our show notes for more information and the best deals to start your Disney, Universal Studios, or cruise vacation planning. What I'm trying to say is, if you like to travel, check out Getaway Today. All right, so now it's time to get back to enjoying that view from Walt's apartment. Let's get back to the show.
Definitely check out our sponsors Getaway Today. Have them help you book your next vacation destination. They can plan as much or as little as you want them to, and they are absolutely free to use. They are wonderful. We all use them ourselves. So we did get some exciting news out of, actually, I was excited for this. I was a little hesitant about the Frontierland expansion, but now I'm kind of excited about it. Before we hang on though, my brain is going way too fast for this. Yeah. So before we get to Frontierland, we did get to see the marquee for the new test track. And I'm going to share that with you guys now. Oh goodness, I'm not signed into Instagram. Joey, do you have that? Here we go, dropping the ball. So they have a new test track marquee that is supposed to be more comparable to the actual updates that have been made to the attraction, even though we're getting more updates, which is crazy. But
they were testing it when I was there.
Were they?
They were.
We're getting test track 3.0. Did you get to try it out, or was it closed?
It was closed still for refurbishment, but you could see test cars running.
Yeah. So it has the new sign. It has the rides architecture built into the sign, and then it's illuminated day and night. It can be illuminated. So just a new sign for test track. I have bad memories on test track, so I really don't want to.
I'm excited to see what changes come to it.
I thought that split T design was cooler.
Did you?
Yeah. Now, granted, I've never been on test track. I've never been outside of. I've never been to Florida. I was gonna say I've never been outside of California, but that's a lie. I've never been to Florida, so it could be a great ride. But the signage, I thought that split T had more futuristic vibes and more like Tron aesthetics. And what I've seen through the virtual world of YouTube, test track is like the Fantasyland version of Tron. A very cool ride. And I like that last little. Now, granted, as I've recently learned, test track is in Tomorrowland. So at least
test track is actually test track is in Epcot. Tomorrowland Speedway is in
never mind. I almost complimented Tomorrowland. Never mind. Crazy. You guys got test track. You guys got test track 3.0, and we got Tomorrowland 0.5. So I mean, eventually it'll catch up.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I always thought the last iteration was very Tron-ish.
I do feel like there is a lot of like similarities though between test track and Tron in terms of like aesthetics.
I always thought it'd be an easy, like, oh well, it's not going to work. Let's make it a Tron ride. That was years before the life cycle.
Pretty much.
There we go.
Dude, Tron.
Hey, we talked about Tron on Imagine That yesterday too. We're talking about where could that third roller coaster be sitting. So we'll find out. All right. Also, I was pleased to get this news because I have been saying, how in the hell are they going to do this? Mm-hmm. Pretty much since they changed everything to Tiana's for Splash Mountain. We did find out.
We had this conversation.
We have, but they made it make a little bit of sense. And I'm not completely convinced, but they made it make a little bit of sense. So they gave us a new storyline per se, not really a new storyline, but they just kind of tried to tie all of the ends and pieces together for Frontierland and talked about how all of the stories that you get coming into Frontierland and including Tiana are stories about heroic characters with a belief in themselves that help them forge a path to their desires. So they're continuing that storytelling with Piston Peak National Park. That's going to be the Cars land that they're bringing to Magic Kingdom.
He did what on the peak?
It is he pissed on it.
That was a Mater joke from the first movie. It's a piston cup. He did what in his cup?
So It is actually the largest expansion in the history of Magic Kingdom. To sell it to us, they told us, imagine an awe-inspiring wilderness filled with towering trees, snow-capped mountains, breathtaking waterfalls, roaring rivers, and impressive geysers, while fictional Piston Peak is inspired by the Rocky Mountain area and the history of iconic sites of the American frontier and its national parks. I can get down with that. So inside the Peak, guests will be able to see and explore a visitor lodge, Ranger HQ, trails, and more, all set with the Disney and Pixar Cars universe. To make the buildings fit in the surrounding majestic landscapes, Imagineers are using a style of architecture called parkitecture, which was developed by the National Park Service to create structures that harmonize with the natural environment. So they are going to try and separate everything with trees, basically. It's a very Walt thing to do.
Put them in upside down.
Yep. So Rivers of America, Tom Sawyer Island, and the Liberty Square Riverboat will close beginning July 7th. And Imagineers are also hard at work behind Big Thunder Mountain. What's behind Big Thunder Mountain? To bring us the first ever land inspired by the Disney villains, with 2 major attractions, dining and shopping, all on an incredibly twisted grand scale. We've already seen the concept art for that. They also said Big Thunder Mountain is reopening next year with new magic. And later this summer, Disney Starlight is going to grace the streets of Magic Kingdom with its grand debut on July 20th. The Beacon Barrel, we've already talked about that, is going to be opening this summer too. So lots of things coming to Frontierland. But what are your guys' thoughts on Piston Peak and what they're doing? Like, apparently, like, the geyser is supposed to like be on a schedule where it erupts. And are you sold on the story?
I am. I mean, does it fit in Frontierland? Whatever they say, no, it still doesn't.
No. But I think at this point they lost that.
Yeah. So it's. I mean, they can. Yeah, whatever. But I think how everything's going to look when it's all said and done, it is going to look really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Disney World 5 times, the last 15 years, and I've never been on that Tom Sawyer Island. I've never been. I didn't even know there's a restaurant on there till Courtney mentioned it. So I do like the Cars universe, and being that this is something original, not just a rehash of Cars Land here, I think I'm always optimistic. So I am pretty optimistic about this.
I mean, I'm thinking it's Route 66, like all the national parks you can see, like traveling along. So I know that they are getting rid of a lot of the water features that we're used to, but they are going to take the geyser field from Big Thunder Mountain and extend it into Piston Peak National Park. And you're going to be able to walk along pathways, and there's going to be like rainbow pools on the side. And they're going to like lead up to an area where there's a feature called Old Tankful, like Old Faithful. And it's going to be a large geyser that faithfully erupts. So I'm glad they're not getting rid of all of the water there.
I really like the concept. I think it was a really smart way to tie Big Thunder Mountain and Tiana's Bayou into a frontier time era.
I think that that's what they did as well. I think that they basically said, hey, we have to kind of make this story fit. So they just said, what is Frontierland? What did that mean? It was people who were chartering into new territories where they didn't necessarily belong. They didn't know what they were doing or what to expect, but they kind of went on that path to get themselves to follow their dreams.
Although the cars take place more in modern times than
Correct.
the Old West and old timey.
Yes. I think that's why it's just like that. It's the same concept of we're going down untraveled paths.
I like that it's
not that the paths aren't traveled, the paths aren't traveled, but that it's a new adventure per se.
Like a vintage modern take on cars.
It is a really cool
poster
for a map.
It's cute.
I think
on,
it's
Louis.
cute.
I think it's cute.
I'm excited that there will be something Cars related because I feel like that is a really big unisex, fun, like adults like it, kids like it, and it's very common. And I don't feel like there's anything really anywhere in Walt Disney World right now that caters to that, unless you are at
Pop,
I believe
is
it's
it?
the
Art
Art
Animation.
of Animation. Yeah, has 2 cars basically that you can like take pictures with, but they don't do anything. There's not a character. Like,
speaking of characters, we're also getting a new character for the parks.
Yeah.
For Piston Peak.
So this was my favorite part of the poster. Actually, is we got a little truck on that is named Ranger J Autobahn Wildlore, and if you're watching on our YouTube, you can see Sam posted a little picture. It's the old Ranger from the old Humphrey the Bear shorts and Donald Duck, and I mean, classic Disney character. And so it's a nice little nod that we're getting this guy. I believe that's his name too, but it was the voice actor. I can't think of, but did like the White Rabbit and a lot of characters from that time. But then when so I'm just going to put here what they kind of put on Instagram, because a lot of people obviously recognized this character. So the sweet, charming Ranger will be welcoming guests to Piston Peak as part of the pre-show for the new rally race ride in the Cars Land expansion. And yes, he's a real animatronic. Think of Mr. Potato Head and Toy Story Midway Mania, but with a national park twist. So it says Ranger Woodlore might seem familiar if you're a Disney deep cut fan. He originally appeared in the classic Humphrey the Bear cartoons back in the 1950s. He has also been the voice of reason and chaos control in the forest, keeping things running at a Brownstone National Park. And now it looks like he's been promoted to Piston Peak Visitor Lodge duty. He said duty.
So, I'm excited for a new character, a new animatronic. You know who else is probably going to be excited about that? Some friends who could probably use them as a clue somewhere in their theme park scavenger hunt game. So let's hear from our sponsors.
Real quick, can I play one quick little thing?
Yes.
It's a little nod. So like I said, the Humphrey Bear cartoon that's where they did the Humphrey Hop. If you grew up with a lot of Disney records, you know that song. So in Cars 3, Mater actually kind of cameos the Humphrey Hop. So it's just a really short video.
Came from a rusty van, bump, bump, quicker than a dart, make it in the cart, bump, bump. That's the way it's done, it's a lot of fun, bump, bump. Lifting my funk, making sculptures out of junk. What's that?
That was just a little take on the Humphrey Hop, but it's kind of nice little coming all in a circle. So.
It is.
Yeah,
It does.
we're in the park.
It's cute. We are. We're going to hear from Where in the Park now.
Hey fam, what scavenger hunt are you doing?
Well, we are doing Where in the Park.
Do you guys know Where in the Park? Because we do.
We do. So how you play this is that they give you a deck of cards with an image on it, and you get to look around and see where in the park that is.
And they're fun. So if you like to find stuff, this is what you need to do.
The amazing game. We're in the park right here.
If you're a seasoned Disney park goers, as we are, it's a fun, challenging even for the hardcore Disney parks fan.
We have played the Where in the Park games that we felt like, ooh, we got
still
this
a challenge.
Oh no, yeah, still a challenge, a fun challenge though, not an impossible challenge.
Check
yeah,
them
really
out.
they get really close to details, and you're like, I have never even seen that. I don't even know.
Where in the park have I seen that?
The great thing about these is that they're not in attractions and they're out in the open places. It's meant for families to play.
Besides people who've been there a lot, it's fun for people that are new to the parks as well, because you catch some of those details that you would probably miss when you're first going.
So there's images that you are finding on one side of the card, and then the other has the hint and the answer that you can reveal if you choose to.
Before it was just the hint and the answer, but now if you really want the land,
it'll tell you where.
They'll give you the land for an extra hint. You guys can take as long as you wish without the hint.
Yeah.
Without the hint, it's hard.
But that's what makes it fun.
But they do not just do Disney parks, obviously. What other parks do you guys actually cover?
Universal and all that good stuff.
East Coast, West Coast, and they're continuing to expand even more after that.
Check them out, weareinthepark.com if you need to get some game packs. They are so much fun.
We appreciate We're in the Park.
You know, they're awesome.
We love
Kevin and
that.
Amanda.
Get you some We're in the Park today.
Hell yeah.
Use promo code Walt's APT Podcast to save 10% at weareinthepark.com.
Definitely check out our friends Kevin and Amanda and Kim at Where in the Park. Get some of their theme park game packs and play and have a fun time. All right. We've got some international park news. We've got some Shanghai Disney resort news before we jump into our Halloween season talk. Has anybody seen the Shanghai Disney Resort's new restaurant?
No.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So we're going to share it now. Here we go, y'all. I got a video for you. So the Shanghai Disneyland Stargazer Grill has reopened.
台餐厅惊喜会新，全新新露台餐厅，皮克斯缤纷会，从装饰到。
And they transformed it into a Pixar-themed restaurant. So it's got refreshing themed decor inspired by Inside Out, Monsters, Inc., and a very creative menu. They said 20 themed dishes, over 20 themed dishes. So they have like Wall-E theme, Turning Red theme, Cars theme, like incredible. All of these Pixar classic movies that we all love. Probably most of the ones we talked about yesterday. There's a Bing Bong meal. So they've got these Pixar themed meals. So that's at Shanghai Disneyland. That looks crazy. What would you guys eat there? What restaurant, or I mean, which meal would you pick? The Incrediburger looked good to me.
Is it like Incredibles burger? Oh, I'm thinking Impossible. Never mind. If it's real meat,
It might be Impossible. If it's real meat, there were a lot of burger choices, and they all looked so different. So if you weren't watching on YouTube, then you can go ahead and check out that video on the Shanghai Disneyland Resort page, or go check out our YouTube video if you want to see what it looks like. But it was a very cute themed restaurant to Pixar. We are moving into Halloween season now. We've been talking about when is Universal going to announce that they have Halloween Horror Night tickets available. Well, they're available. In case you were wondering, they are now available. We said that last week. We were like, when are they going to make the announcement? Well, they finally made their announcement.
Well, I hope their announcement was a lot better than what you're like, yep, they're available.
Good evening, citizens. If you're just tuning in, you're in for a treat.
Yes.
Our friends at Vault-Tec are showcasing a revolutionary new experience, unlike anything you've seen before. Don't take it from us. Hear it straight from one of our special volunteers.
Live the horror you love to watch at Universal Halloween Horror Nights, featuring Fallout and more.
So Courtney and Kelly already told Joey they're not going with him.
Yes, so I'm looking forward to this.
So if you are a Universal pass holder, you get a free ticket, right, Joey?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like just any pass holder or like the top tier. I'm really not sure, but we are top tier, so that's why we get it. And I'm going to fully take advantage of my free ticket because why not? I'm not a huge horror fan, but I still like we were talking before we recorded. We're talking Lou. What they did with Fan Fest was amazing, and horror version. I've heard nothing but great things of it, even from non-horror fans. So I'm looking real forward to checking it out, even if I'm by my lonesome self.
Yeah. Well, you've got friends that you can meet up with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
My brother, I mean, he is my friend, but my brother is a huge horror fan, and he would lose his mind if he had the ability to go.
So the tickets are available. They're really not that expensive if you're thinking about like a theme park event. So for the most part, it depends on the day, but for the most part, they look like they're $77 a person. For the general admission, there are different packages available And they are available early September through November 2nd for nights that the party is being hosted, or the Halloween Horror Nights is being hosted. They also have the Universal Express, which is the express access. You get access from Super Nintendo World from 7 to 10. They also have the Universal Express Unlimited, and that one is almost $300. And then for $400, they have the RIP Tour. And then they do have the Frequent Fear Pass as well. So check out all of those things, and the Ultimate Fear Pass. So you can check all of those things out on the Universal Hollywood website if you want to get your tickets. They're available now.
The RIP to your bank account pass.
Yes.
I was thinking about doing one of the, get in front of the line kind of passes, being that I get the free one, but that still might be a little too steep for that.
The Express add-on is $152. If you want to get in early, it is $15 on your day. If you want to get in early on your day where you have your free ticket, it's $15. And then if you want the Express, it's $152 as the add-on.
Not terrible.
So something to think about. Joey's like,
well, maybe. General admission.
But you can play the 15 and get in early if you want.
Yeah.
All right. But Halloween Horror Nights aren't the only ones having their Halloween fun. We've also got some SeaWorld San Diego news about their Howl-O-Scream party. Lou, what do you got about Howl-O-Scream, my guy?
First up, I'm just excited that we're talking about SeaWorld on this show now. Like, SeaWorld is a very underrated park. I get it. People that saw Blackfish, I'm sorry. It's a damn good park, okay? I don't know how they are behind the scenes. I can't say that. But, so SeaWorld is now sparking up their fire for Howl-O-Scream or Howl-O-Scream. I did not go to the event last year, but I was there on a Halloween night where they were closing early, and the vibe is interesting. You're there at SeaWorld during the day watching dolphins backflip, whales front flip, walruses do nothing. You're watching all that, but about midday it flips and it becomes kind of creepy, not super scary. So before we hit record tonight, we're chatting about it a little bit, and it has, if you're familiar with Knott's Scary Farm, it has Not Scary Farm written all over it. But they also have a couple things they're doing this year that I don't know if they did in previous years. They have the Howl-O Sprint 5K run. They are announcing that they have 5 angry haunts through 8 scare zones and 4 vile vignettes. I'm not sure what the vignettes is, but from the brief little homework I was doing on the computer, it's like scenery spots. And last year they hit the carnival, they had a whole carnival scare zone. They had a vampire or Dracula, Bride of Dracula, and a SeaWorld version of Frankenstein scare zone. They also had a doll scare zone. They had a Day of the Dead scare zone, and then they had my personal favorite that I thought was really rad. It was like zombies from the deep sea or something like that. And they had cats in the old school scuba gear, but like the metal circle helmet. But in the circle, it was just glowing. They look like Miner 49er, if anyone gets that deep cut from Scooby-Doo. And it was tight. And I was like, I kind of want to go this year. I have seen some photos of like the exhibits, and some exhibits that can have these adaptations. They do them. The eels and now jellyfish exhibits have black lights on them to kind of give that deep, dark look. And the overall aesthetics to it. Like, you're used to seeing skeletons on stakes. Well, you're walking around the park, you got mermaids on stakes. You got like animal carcasses on stakes. I'm like, for the kids, this sucks. But as a grown adult, I think this is rad. It's so much different. But no, SeaWorld Howl-O-Screams, if you get a chance to check it out, tickets are on sale now. Let's pull them up real quick.
September 12th
prices.
through November 1st. Select nights, September
Yeah.
12th through November 1st is when you can get tickets for Howl-O-Scream.
I think when we talked about it a few
Yeah.
weeks ago, Kevin mentioned that they went last year. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, he said he enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
So you can get an unlimited Howl-O-Scream admission on select nights, September 12th to November. It's apparently, on select nights, meaning there's only certain nights that it's there.
Mhm.
But you can get an unlimited admission ticket to the entire Howl-O-Scream season for $103. A single night ticket is $35, and that is if you buy it now.
That's actually a
So-
very fair price. So,
Yeah. It says save up to 55% on tickets. Hurry, sale ends soon.
awesome.
You're paying more for that just to go to like a sporting event.
Yep. Oh, hold on. They're daily deals. So you're eligible for today's special offer. So when you hear this, that deal is gone. They are doing daily deals. So right now, if you were to go on Howl-O-Scream for $100, you have unlimited access to all the days of Howl-O-Scream for a low price of $103.
So check the SeaWorld San Diego website every day. See if you can get a good deal for yourself if that's something that you want to do. Speaking of kind of creepy and unconventional things, I think we should hear from Sunken City Designs.
Sunken City Designs brings you art. Do you like art? I know I do. How about art based on Disney characters, like Mickey Mouse and the Oyster Thief? You know, that's actually from Alice in Wonderland, the best princess movie ever made. Also, we have some dwarfs that have their heads ripped off sometimes. Why? I don't know. It's because it's Sunken City Design. So go there, sunkencitydesign.com. Get yourself some great merchandise. You got posters and, I believe, clothes. Who knows? I got a cup from there, and it's fantastic. You like cups? Do you ever use those? I do. Go for it. Oh yeah, sweatshirts. Can't forget about those. If you're ever cold, get yourself a sweatshirt from sunkencitydesign.com. Also, Wall-E. You know, that's the best movie ever made. Second only to Alice in Wonderland. All right, if you also like Walt's apartment, they have merch for that too. Where? sunkencitydesign.com. Hopefully you've already loaded up that site and you're looking at it and you have some items in your cart. Go ahead and check out as soon as you can because the show's about to come back on. All right, everybody, we appreciate you.
And Lou, I apologize for calling your art creepy and unconventional, but I love it. I love it, and everyone else loves it too, but it is unconventional. It is. You have anything you... Oh, I appreciate you, Lou. Anything you want to share with us about what Sunken City Design is up to?
Yeah, currently our website is being reconstructed to now carry skate decks on our website. We've had them for a little bit, but some shipping snags and technical difficulties on just making sure they're taken care of during the shipping route. So we're adding those, and we're going through a new manufacturer for shipping. We're also going to be bringing back some old retro designs that we did. Not retro, that's a horrible word. Some designs that haven't been in our rotation for some time. Retired. Yep. I gotta slow down when I say that because of Deadpool. But so yeah, we're revamping that, and we're doing a few shows locally. But as of right now, it's kind of just preparing for the Halloween season because that seems to be when our creepy, unconventional, not loved art does really well.
We love your art because it's different than everything. I do want a skeleton mermaid though, so if you can let me know how that goes.
At this rate, I'll have it done next Halloween season because I am busy with some work.
Good. We're glad to hear that you're busy though. And don't let him convince you audio listeners or YouTube watchers that I don't love his artwork. I love it so much. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love is his
browsing.
Love is his favorite word. Love.
And hugs.
Okay. And hugs. He loves when I hug him. Okay. But back to our quick trips. We have just a few things that we want to mention very quickly before we end our show tonight. It has been an hour full of jam-packed, great conversation and news. So very quickly, more SeaWorld San Diego news for you, Lou. Are you ready for this? Did you know that they have they have a summer concert series? So every Saturday night from June 21st to August 23rd at 6 p.m. Lots of different artists with stunning backdrops. And a lot of artists that we've probably heard of. Baby Bash. I low-key love Baby Bash. The Yin Yang Twins, Soulja Boy and Bow Wow, Fat Joe, Waka Flocka Flame. And
Are they going to do the Whisper song? Sorry.
Probably not, but you never know.
I love the 90s tour, Trina, Genuine, the Turned Up tour. So lots of concerts that you can go and visit. So that it does exclude Saturday, July 5th.
The 90s tour. I'm sorry, I'm butting in, but Color Me Bad, Rob Bass, Tretch from Naughty by Nature, and Young MC. That is my 6th grade through 8th grade wrapped into one.
Yes.
So are you saying it's not the 90s and it's the 60s?
Damn.
Oh, savage bird. Okay, concerts are included with park admission. So you can upgrade to reserve seating for the best seats in the house. There is an upgrade for that, but your concert tickets are included in park admission. So.
Oh, buddy, my season passes just got better.
More valuable.
They started this, I want to say they started this like right before COVID. Obviously, COVID hit, and then they brought it back, I want to say last year. But if anyone's been to the Bayside Theater in SeaWorld, it's really cool because you got the entire Bayside in the background. Like they're performing over the water for the most part. It's a really cool setup, but man, that back part of the park is going to be packed.
Is that? Well, that's okay. You can upgrade your seating for an additional price. So jumping over to DCA, our next quick trip, Rex is making a short debut at DCA for a limited time. He's already there in honor of the 30th anniversary of Pixar Animation Studios film franchise Toy Story. So 30 years of Toy Story. Rex is at DCA. He's at the Pixar Promenade? It looks like, right? So he's at Pixar Pier in Disney California Adventure. We don't know how long he's going to be there. They haven't exactly told us that, but you can go see Rex.
What is the point of all these characters being so limited? I don't understand that at all. Like, what are you going to do? Just shelve the costume afterwards?
It's like if you have them, use them. We want them. Like
he's been at what, Tokyo or Shanghai?
Shanghai, I think.
Or like almost a year now. I think this will be longer than I think they want to say limited, but even Lotso, he was around for years and he was supposed to be limited for Toy Story 3, you know.
I wonder if he's going to be relocated to Toy Story Land.
But I agree with that. See, that would make sense. But I agree with Lou. Like, I hate when they announce it as a limited. I mean,
yeah. Especially with characters that are so relevant. I get it when they did that extra limited time magic with Friends, the Long Lost Friends week, and you got like Pinocchio characters or like all 7 dwarfs, Robin Hood. You got. Yeah, and you saw that those costumes were limited because guess what? Those are the original costumes. Like, they can't be out in the sun too long or they'll fall apart. But these new costumes, it's like Avengers Hallway. Like, come on, man. Like, those characters come and go faster than... Well, never mind. I'm not going to go down that road. This is extra magic hour. But, like, let them be there a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So... We do have some more quick trips from Universal Hollywood. Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket is closing at the end of August to make room for a new attraction. I don't know what that's going to be. There wasn't a specific announcement. It just said a new attraction. They are also closing their City Walks Johnny Rockets for something new too.
That's
and hopping over. What, Kelsey?
They also have all their Jaws anniversary is their big theme right now. So there's all kinds of specialized merch and treats in the park for a limited time celebrating the, I believe, 50th anniversary of Jaws.
Yeah, those sippers that they released.
Yeah, we've seen. Yeah, I think we talked about the zippers already.
They are sweet.
Yeah,
I
well, the
can't
merch
remember.
got, I don't think we talked too much about it because we talked about the Hollywood version of the summer movie thing, but
Oh, that's right. That's right. All right. Well, that may be something for us to go back and revisit. But last piece we're closing out on. I have a question for everyone. We were told that there is a surprise guest, a surprise character meet and greet coming to Der Teddy Bar in the Germany Pavilion at Epcot for VIP pass holder days. The character is going to make appearances beginning June 9th through July 31st from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. A surprise meet in a teddy bear shop. With all of their famous friends. All of my friends are famous. Who is it, guys? Do we know? I think it has to be Duffy.
I'm thinking Duffy, but it makes no sense, but okay.
Duffy? Why are they making such a big deal with Duffy?
I mean, I don't know.
Well, I know. I just saw another post about another character who is like supposed to be one of Duffy's friends, but she actually debuted in Shanghai Disney.
Yeah, because they showed up at the 70th, but it makes no sense that he's in Germany unless he's all of a sudden a world traveling bear.
I think it's just because it's at Teddy Bar, but that's a toy shop. So I thought Geppetto or Pinocchio possibly.
I was thinking Geppetto was my first guess, but if the friends thing is what throws me off.
It is the all my friends are famous is what leads me to think it's Duffy.
But they're not famous, though, are they?
I think they are internationally.
They get around.
I mean, it is the World Showcase. Who else? Who do you think it could be?
The Muppets.
I mean,
Oh my gosh.
Pinocchio's friends are famous with Stromboli.
Yeah, but they're Italian, though. I thought Pinocchio and Geppetto were Italian.
No.
Are they? Pinocchio.
Geppetto.
Pinocchio.
Stromboli.
Yeah, they are Italian.
Oh, we're being canceled.
I don't think so.
I think they are.
But he's in
Yeah, I'm
there.
not sure.
Is Pinocchio Italian? I'm asking the Google.
But he's in Lederhosen.
Right.
What?
That's
The German shorts, like Lederhosen. That's what I was saying.
He's Tuscan.
yeah, it's Italian.
Yeah.
It's Italian.
So
The
is there
name
any
Geppetto
clue?
is Italian. No, it just the clues were
The bear?
If it's Duffy, I think Disney's starting to feel the effects of losing some copyrights to Mickey, man. Because Duffy leading the parade and the cavalcade in the 70th was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it says beloved Disney character and all my friends are famous. So I don't know. Maybe Duffy, but I mean, I don't know. It's a tricky one. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. So check back in and let us know what you guys
When's that
think
supposed to happen?
on our social media. That is supposed to be, hang on, I just closed it.
Oh, sorry.
I'll go back.
June
No,
9th.
you're fine.
June
June 9th
June 9th.
through July 31st. So we'll be finding out by our next episode. We will let you know. And until then, go ahead and join our Discord and let us know. Anything else you guys want to say before I take us home?
No.
The only other thing I was going to throw out there is that in Animal Kingdom at Walt Disney World, they have officially started working on the South or Latin America's area renovation, and the walls have officially gone up, and they have their pictures of like the art rendering what it is supposed to look like up. So if anyone would like to see that, or they're going to be in the park, stroll that way, because it sounds like they're doing some advertising up on their construction walls.
And I think last week, I think we brought up some of those pictures too, didn't we, Joey? And we talked about the walls going up.
No,
did we cover that?
We've shown the concept before, though.
So, okay. All right. Well, thank you, Kelsey and Lou, for joining us tonight. You guys are awesome. Appreciate it. Good
Thanks
to see you too, Joey.
Yes, all the time.
If you have enjoyed this episode, please scroll down on your podcast player and give us a 5-star rating. And if you have an extra minute to leave a written review or to share it with another theme park loving friend, that would be amazing. It only takes a couple seconds, and it tells Apple, Spotify, and all of the other players that we are doing something magical here, and it helps out our channel tremendously. So if you're checking us out on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Be sure to check out our amazing sponsors, our free Discord, and our Patreon page for more details. Links to everything are in the show notes below if you are listening on an audio player. And until next time, we will see you in the parks.
See you.
Switch on the sky.